Professor Nam-Yong Lee's editorial long, Why Koreans Cannot Become Wealthy Even When They Work Hard? The answer is a great transition to a productivity nation. The new cause of income stagnation is not wages but value added. Many analysts explain declining living standards by inflation or stagnant pay. However, the core issue is not the wage level but the structure of value creation. Korea's nominal wages have more than doubled over the past 20 years. During the same period, the growth of real disposable income slowed sharply. This does not mean income failed to rise, it means the production structure failed to absorb income growth. The people did not become poorer, the economy lost its capacity to become richer. Policy becomes possible only when this distinction is understood. According to OECD statistics, Korea's value added per hour is about 60% of that of the United States. In other words, 1 hour of labor produces only about half the economic value. Raising wages appears to be a solution, but when value added is low, wages adjust through employment reduction. Therefore, repeated wage policies do not improve perceived living conditions. The problem is not wages but the ability to create value added. In advanced economies, income increases even as working hours decline. This is not the result of redistribution policy, but of productivity growth. In Korea, income growth remains limited despite long working hours. This difference is the decisive gap between a middle-income country and an advanced economy. The real meaning of productivity is economic density, not the quantity of work. Productivity is not an abstract economic term. It means how much value is created within the same time. It is the difference between an economy that works 10 hours to produce $100 and one that works 5 hours to produce $300. The issue is not effort but structure. That is why advanced societies have leisure, while middle-income societies remain busy. A busy society is not necessarily a wealthy society. The average profit margin of Korean self-employed businesses is lower than in major advanced economies. Even within the same industry, the number of shops is high, but revenue density is low. This is not excess competition, but insufficient productivity. The issue is not too much supply, but low value creation. Therefore, closures and new openings repeat continuously. The national economy follows the same logic. Korea produces large manufacturing output but concentrates on low value-added segments. The share of high-value services is small, preventing average income growth. This is the structure that prevents wealth accumulation despite hard work. The national economic structure must therefore shift from hardware-centered manufacturing towards software-centered services. The labor market structure also blocks income growth. Korea combines strong protection with limited mobility. Regular employment protection is strong, but job movement is difficult. As a result, job retention takes priority over skill accumulation. Labor mobility rates are lower than in advanced economies, slowing productivity diffusion. The same explains long waiting periods for youth employment. Firms prefer experienced workers rather than training new entrants. Low mobility prevents a career accumulation pathway. This is the structural cause of youth unemployment. The issue is not lack of jobs, but lack of a productivity pathway. In advanced economies, changing jobs increases wages. In Korea, changing jobs increases risk. Under such a structure, innovative industries struggle to grow. Stability-centered systems limit income expansion. There is also an economic reason investment moves abroad. Over the last 20 years, outward foreign direct investment by Korean firms increased about sevenfold, while domestic fixed capital formation growth slowed. This reflects not merely cost differences but productivity environments. The same capital generates higher value abroad. Firms pursue profit. When approval periods are long and entry is restricted, returns decline. Capital moves to efficient locations. This is an economic law unrelated to patriotism. Therefore, criticizing overseas relocation does not solve the issue. It explains why business leaders argue that domestic investment opportunities are limited. When investment declines, high-wage jobs decline. Reduced high-wage employment lowers consumption, which further reduces investment. This creates the current low-growth lock-in structure. The Republic of Korea is approaching the middle-income trap. Service industries ultimately determine national income. Manufacturing makes countries rich during early development, but services determine income at advanced stages. High-income structures in the United States and the United Kingdom originate in finance, healthcare, software, and content. Korea remains manufacturing-centered. Co-prosperity among large firms, mid-sized firms, small firms, and citizens requires transforming toward a software-centered economic structure. Korea's service productivity is about half that of major advanced economies. The value created per labor input is low. Restrictions in medical, education, legal, financial, and content industries are key causes. Protection policies suppress industrial growth. Service liberalization is not merely an employment policy, but an income growth policy. As high-value services expand, average wages rise. Manufacturing alone cannot sustain advanced country income levels. Korea's real estate-centered finance blocks innovation. Over 70% of household assets are real estate, exceeding financial assets. Much lending is collateral-based. This is risk avoidance rather than risk diversification. Innovative firms lack collateral but possess potential, and collateral finance prevents their growth. Capital flows into safe assets, and the economy stagnates. Asset price debates therefore repeat endlessly. The same explains weak monetary policy effectiveness, because lower interest rates raise asset prices rather than investment. The issue is structural, not policy failure. A transition strategy toward a productivity nation is urgent. Fiscal expansion is a stabilization policy, not a growth policy. Growth policy means competition promotion, labor mobility expansion, service liberalization, ex-post regulation, and capital market reform must occur simultaneously. No single policy can solve the issue. Education must shift from knowledge transfer to skill accumulation and connect with a mobile labor market. Firms must be competitive actors rather than protected entities. Government must design rules rather than control outcomes. Korea already stands at the threshold of advanced country status, yet its structure remains middle income. The solution is not working harder, but working differently. Without productivity transformation, income growth is impossible. This is the last opportunity to restructure the national economy. Otherwise, the future of the Republic of Korea is at risk. Many people say Korea is resilient, but citizens must face the problem directly. This issue is not the responsibility of one administration alone. Thank you for watching Professor Nam-Yong Lee's editorial.